I made an app called Fret Focus that allows you to bring together tabs of your favorite guitar songs and an interactive guitar fretboard to try to understand the music theory choices that the artist is making when they're putting together the song. The way the app works is you select a key. We're looking at G, and you select a style. We have pentatonic, blues pentatonic, pentatonic plus, and diatonic. We don't yet have all the modal stuff in there. You can change the number of frets that are displayed, and then you can either show the functions of the notes against the key. So like the one is the root note here with a square. You can click on the fretboard and it will play the notes for you. But what's really interesting is to paste tabs in, and they automatically get parsed into this interactive display mode. So for example, I just went to Ultimate Guitar. I copied this text of the tabs. If you go to this revert to paste and put it here, I just click parse tab and it puts it into a long ribbon. But what happens is that as this target box moves, let's click project on the fretboard. And as this target box moves, you will see that you can visualize what the artist is playing in the context of this song. Let's click this button and we'll see that the red target icon here is going to move as we can click the arrow or press arrow keys, and it's going to move its way through the song. So pretty helpful little tool there. It also has this feature called use context. So rather than just displaying the pentatonic fretboard, it's cool that it has the fret interactivity thing, copy and paste. What I really was going for was I want to know in particular why Stevie Ray Vaughan, he seems to flow in and out of the blues pentatonic or the B.B. King box 1 with more like a country player, like playing the changes. He's also sometimes playing more along the lines of the chords in more of a major pentatonic sense, or at least a major diatonic sense. And I'll show you what I mean. But I want to show you this context feature. So if we turn this on, it's going to give us a bunch of buttons. Let's turn off sevenths for the moment. So the way that this is working is here on the fretboard, we're still showing G pentatonic, or it might be easier to show you this pentatonic plus just adds a little circle for the, so like your, let's put a C. So for example, here's the C pentatonic, here's the root note, and from frets 5 to 8 here, you can see that box 1 shape. Let me put it on pentatonic. So there's kind of our box 1 in terms of a major pentatonic. If you wanted to see the minor pentatonic, here I'm calling it blues pentatonic, it's 8 to 11. But if we go back to pentatonic plus is just sort of adding little icons of where the filler notes would be, the 4s and 7s. But anyways, what I also was trying to do with this is make it flexible. So this context feature, it allows us to actually work our way through the 7 chords in whatever key we're playing. So as we click, and it's going to display the notes that make up that chord onto the fretboard, sort of hovering over our basic pentatonic structure. As a guitar player, I'm very familiar with the pentatonic shapes. I think of them as neighborhoods. And I wanted to know how these chords, they're sort of like they seem to flow in and out of the neighborhoods. So I've always wondered, isn't there a way you can just pick box 1, because I'm very familiar with that, and I should be able to play all of the chords needed for a song in box 1. It's very similar, like the caged system type stuff. And we're seeing that here. So if you click C, you can see that this is the G shape that C makes in the major pentatonic box 1. If we click D, you actually see it's in this A minor shape here, starting on the A string. E starts here on the 7th fret. You see this A minor shape F is in this C position, and then G is in the D position, and then the A minor here is in the E position. And we'll ignore diminished for the moment. You could modify a chord if you wanted to. So if we wanted to make this, or like the 4 minor is pretty common. So we could go to the 4 chord and actually click minor, and it's going to change the layout. It's going to change this little badge of what the selected chord is, and it's going to change the layout of the notes on the fretboard. But anyways, we also have a jazz mode here with sevenths, and it will actually show the 1, 3, 5, and 7 of the chord. And you can also modify the jazz chords. You can flatten a root too. So like if you wanted to do the flat major 7 dominant, for example, you do something like this. It's going to show you, where that is. This would be if the band is playing the flat major 7 dominant, and you as a soloist over that really want to accentuate or bring it home. This sort of tool would help you do that. But let's go back to this Stevie Ray Vaughan song, and I want to show you something interesting. So we're gonna put this back on G, and I'm gonna put it on the blues pentatonic because I'm thinking, okay, well Stevie plays blues pentatonic, right? Let's go to G, and let's go. Let's turn off sevenths, and let's put this on. We'll turn this off for a second. And I'm going to move this red box back to the beginning. And then let's click our way through, and I want to show you something interesting. The first few notes or parts of this song, Texas Flood, are not really in the blues pentatonic space. Stevie's riff in the beginning is really playing major pentatonic, or more like a country player. He's sort of playing the changes. So like in this first chord is a G major or G dominant 7. But let's watch what happens. So we're gonna step our way through, and this red box is gonna move, and these red targets are gonna jump their way along the fretboard as we see what he's playing. And we're looking at the shape of the blues pentatonic, and you're going to see that the red target does not always land cleanly on the blues pentatonic. Okay, so what's going on there is, let's actually flip this from G back to major pentatonic, and in fact let's turn on this pentatonic plus, which is just going to add the filler notes, and we're going to go we're going to play it again, and I want you to watch these target icons. So there, of those 10 notes, that they almost all landed really cleanly on just the G major scale, the G major pentatonic. So at the start of this song, the blues pentatonic seems to work really well if we've established like a bass line, and that's what Stevie's doing at the beginning of this song. Is he is going to spend 80% of the time ripping on the blues minor pentatonic, but he's playing something different here. What's interesting too is if you wanted to try to superimpose both of them at the same time, and that can yield some interesting results. So what we're going to do, we're going to try that. We're going to use this context thing to try to show a G major chord, and we're going to use this layout thing to show the blues pentatonic. So let's do that. So let's put this on blues pentatonic, but turn on the context button. And for the context button, we're going to put it on a G major chord. Oh, there we go. Turn off the root. All right. So we're seeing the G major shape. Hopefully that's familiar. This G, D, G, B, D, G looks like that E shape bar chord here on the 3rd fret. And let's walk through that intro again. So we can see, especially that triple stop with the hammer on is very interestingly blending between the minor pentatonic. Remember, this is our white circles are the minor pentatonic, and we've superimposed the major chord, G major, onto that. And some notes line up and some notes don't, but especially this little 3 hammering onto the 4 is just an amazing way of flowing between the two, putting us in a really bluesy sort of place. I'll pause the demo there. I think you get the point. This app's free. Anyone can use it to try and learn and improve guitar. I haven't tested a whole lot of tabs, so some may not work. But anyways, hope you enjoy.